There it goes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode here at the Kickpod podcast, the podcast JoJo for inspirational martial arts talk. I am your host, TJ Williams, fourth degree black belt of the Chuck Norris system, here to give you the insight of my martial arts journey, discussing and analyzing martial arts based subjects, and highlight individuals involved in martial arts past, present, and future. So, for those who are just joining me for the first time, this is a pre recorded episode. So, whatever I talk about in this episode, it's either the past or it's coming up, which brings me to say I'm doing my recording on Easter Sunday. So for those who are celebrating Easter, happy Easter. For those who don't, happy Easter anyway. All right, so either way, we get rewarded. I mean, we get rewarded with Easter baskets, and we get rewarded with the sunrise of today. So for those who went to their normal spot to see the sunrise, I mean, I guess it's real beautiful. And for those who got their Easter baskets, so I hope you got whatever you wanted. And for those who don't celebrate Easter, I mean, just think about it. We got 3 days off of work. Yeah, so we started off with Good Friday going into Easter Sunday. So that's good. And for those who are just been getting an update of my condition, I'm still recovering from my knee surgery, which is pretty much in a good path. You know, I'm going out running and a little limping when I run, but I'm still okay. And also, I know big news concerning my fifth degree journey. I definitely got the call, the thumbs up to actually be promoted to fifth degree this July. So yeah, that's gonna be a happy moment. You know, I've been getting plans ready, plane fare, I mean hotel stay, and of course the convention itself. So I'm excited for that, and I'm really excited to do my performance. So I've been doing a lot of hard work for 26 years. All right, so enough of me. And I have a guest with me today. Of course, I'm coming from Sanford, Maine. All right, she's studies in Taekwondo since 2017 and ranks the red belt and in 2022. And also, she does more than just Taekwondo. She does Shotokan karate starting in 2020. Yeah, that's probably during the pandemic, and holding the rank of green belt. And for the last couple of months, she starts BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And also, plus for that, she is a mental health case manager and has a PhD, or should I say, bachelor's in psychology from the University of Maine. So definitely, that's a good indemnity martial arts. So let me introduce you to Jessica Younger. So she agreed to come on the show and give her insights on her journey. So how are you doing, Jessica?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so I kind of come across you after I had my interview with Andrew Evans, which was a great interview. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty humbled
Yes.
that you kind of called off to that interview, and kind of I wanted to reach out to you too as well. So it's real great to actually have more people from that area to actually follow my podcast as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was a great interview. And I enjoyed your interview with Karate Curls too. I listened to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the great thing about me and her is like we pretty much are like almost like close to each other. So I mean, she's 2 hours up the border
Oh,
from
right.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, in
So
Canada. Yeah.
yeah, so great when you're close to the border. It's like you meet great people. You know, not only her, there's also Chris Hansen that also around the area. So I mean, there's a lot of martial arts around the area that I know. So it's going to be a moment of time to actually come across those individuals.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity. Yeah.
Uh, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna bring us back in time, like before you even started karate. So this is basically from your
Hmm.
childhood to up to now. So like when you're doing martial arts. So the first question would be, how would you describe yourself before getting into martial arts?
Well, I didn't start until I was, gosh, 36. So there was a lot of life that I lived up until before then. Um, I guess I would describe myself as pretty easygoing, very kind of down to earth, go with the flow type of person. As a kid, I did play softball for many years, and I did dance for many years as well. And I ended both of those things right around the same time when I was like 12. The pressure became really high, and I just kind of fell off the interest of continuing at that point. So after that, as far as like being physically active, I wasn't very active after that, to be honest with you. I still love to dance and I still do to this day. But that kind of fell off the radar for myself. But then I graduated high school, went to college, met my husband, then became in the mental health field and kind of focused on that, focused on family and friends and things like that. And then my son, who was 8 at the time, he said that he was interested in trying a martial art. So it was the first time he had ever been interested in any sort of sport or anything like that. So we lived in Sanford at that time, and just kind of driving around the town there, I noticed there were a couple of schools in the area. And I contacted one, and it just didn't, the price was high. It just didn't seem, the structure of it didn't seem appealing to me. The instructor said that they have like family kind of involved, but not training with the kids. So it just didn't seem like the right fit. Like it would be the right fit. So I reached out, I saw the sign on Main Street for teas, and I contacted them, and they're like, yeah, just bring him in, and he can try out a class. And he did amazing. Like, I've never seen that child work so hard in my entire life. And, I mean, he was soaked in sweat and he did so well. And I didn't think for a minute that he would want to go back. I was like, he's not going to say that this is something he wants to do, but he did. He was like, yeah, I want to go back. And I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. So he started about a year ago, a year before I did. And then I just kind of, I learned that they had adult classes, and I became friends with one of the other moms there and knew that she was training, Megan.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of had in my mind, like, I want to try it out. And so that kind of brought me to the place of trying.
Yeah, and it's always great to actually have family like involved in like I'm pretty much friends with like a lot of families that are in martial arts, and like I see them in a convention, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just it's amazing, like you have the father mother involved, and then it's just like you got pretty much a lot of indemnity, like if you know what you
Yeah,
have to work on versus what your son has to work on, it's like you can work on it together. And
right,
it's like, well, let's just say families don't want to get too crazy for it. It's just like,
right.
there's other stuff in the life. And yeah,
Yeah,
Megan's another person that I would like to interview. I know I reached out to her like a while back, and I know she
yeah,
probably got an exciting story of her martial arts journey. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So kind of going into like you got your like interest in your event because of your son. So yeah, that's like
Mm-hmm.
your interest in getting started. So what was like the one push or an envy that you saw in your son that says you got to get started?
Well, a big part of it was that I really wanted to change my activity level and get myself healthier. That was a big part. And watching him for that first year, I learned pretty quickly just how intense they trained. And so I knew that if I committed myself to this, that I would definitely get the endurance, the ability, the agility, all of the things that I really wanted to push myself to do. And also, I felt like because working in mental health and being sort of the easygoing, like go with the flow type of person I felt like it was going to be a good compliment to kind of having that mindset, to have even more confidence. I've always been pretty confident in just who I am as a person, but being confident in my ability and my body and my, you know, in that way. I was looking to increase that. So
Yeah, it's amazing. Like you had that, like, well, what would you say, your first lesson? Can you have your first memory of your first lesson and when you started?
Oh, yes. This is quite the story, actually. So I learned Megan was a student, and I knew that if I expressed interest, that she would immediately encourage me to start. And that's exactly what she did. She didn't let me down. She immediately was like, you need to try, come try it out. You'll love it, blah, blah, blah. So I took 3 months. When I mentioned it to her, I was one of those people that literally took like 2 or 3 months to prepare myself and to go to the gym and try to increase my cardio and things like that, because I knew, or I had a sense of what I was getting into and I was going to die. So for that first like 3 months, I literally went to the gym like 3 or 4 days a week and pushed myself to get to a place where I felt like, okay, I'm not gonna totally just keel over. So when I got to my first class, about an hour beforehand, I was at the office getting ready. I had all my stuff, getting ready to go. I started feeling my stomach upset. And so I messaged Megan. I'm like, Megan, I don't know. This could be nerves, but I think I'm coming down with something. And she's like, oh, well, just you do what you got to do. Like if you think you're sick, blah, 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 don't come. Now I knew for a fact that if I did not show up to my very first class, it would have been thought like she chickened out, like, and it's not a big deal, but I was like, no, I'm going to go. I said I was going to go. So I went, and I was sick. I get like 15 minutes into the class, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done, of course, the physical workout, the exercises. And I went into the bathroom, threw up. And as soon as I was done, I was like, oh, I feel better. I can continue. And I went right back out there and continued. Did it again and continued. Made it through the whole class, and I let them know I'm sorry if anyone gets sick. And I'm pretty sure I got Andrew sick after. So he was sick a few days after. So yeah, that was my first experience on class. And it kind of like was, now that I think about it after the fact, it was kind of like my first test, like to push through even being like physically ill, and I just was so gung-ho. I was like, no, I said I was going to do this and I'm going to do it. I'm going. I don't care if I'm sick. And so that was my first class.
Yeah, that pretty much was my attitude. Like when I started when I was 10, I came
Yeah.
down with a cold, but
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to do my first class. I didn't have my
Mm.
uniform yet. I was
Yep.
basically a t-shirt and sweatpants, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't much of a physical exercise. It's just me learning the basics.
Yep.
I mean, of course, later on, of course, like you said, you were getting yourself like prepared for the
Yep.
physical workout. It just which most of the martial arts styles are mostly physical, pretty much a physical activity, pretty much a
Yeah.
hit class, I would say.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of how I describe it to people. Like P90X was really big, in the 90s. So that's kind of how I describe it to people. Yeah. And honestly, just even having the mindset of I'm going to start this in 3 months pushed me more than I had ever been able to push myself prior to this. So I was really sort of getting myself mentally ready, along with the physical readiness that I wanted to get at least a little bit of before starting. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a great thing that you kind of got started like early before you started, because
Mm-hmm.
with let's think about it with black belt testing. I know that's going to be tough when you get to that. All right, how far would you say you're from being at a black belt test? Like,
So the next rank that in Taekwondo, in ITF Taekwondo, is black belt. So the next belt. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, so yeah, so you're close. So at least you're
Yeah.
you're prepared for the physical workout or the physical
Mm-hmm.
test.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really great. My teammates, Megan and Aaron, who have been doing it even before I have, the three of us for every test, because we pretty much have all tested together on every rank so far. So, we've always gotten together as like a team and practiced and tried to prepare ourselves together, which is amazing. I couldn't have done and gone this far without them, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
So with me, I'm having experience with black belt testing, like roughly 4 black belt tests. I know the
yeah.
whole thing, and especially yesterday I was on a testing board for a first degree black belt test. You
Oh,
got
right.
you got two people going for like two kids going for black belt.
Mm-hmm.
For them, I kind of tell them beforehand that it's physical work, so you
Mm-hmm.
have to really work on your endurance. And I'm watching these kids go, and I'll like pretty much I say probably within like 15 minutes, I hear huffing and puffing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like you guys know the material for the test, but yet you got to work on
Yeah.
the endurance because usually the first part is basic endurance. And
Mm-hmm.
when I did my first degree black belt test, like my first 2 tests, we started with katas, like, and then after that we followed up with hand techniques, kicks, everything. But
Mm-hmm.
as um as I go from my third and my fourth, we started off with hand strikes, blocks, kicks, jump kicks.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in that case they want to test how much our endurance is.
Yep.
It's real bad when we have to go first for everything. For me, I could say for my third and my fourth, I had to go first for katas, and I was like already winded.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I wasn't going to quit, especially for
Right.
my fourth degree. I wasn't even going to quit because this is my last physical test before fifth degree,
Yep.
and yet for this fifth degree coming up, I'm not going to treat it like I'm just taking like I'm vacation. I'm going in there
Right.
like I'm ready to fight. I earned this opportunity, so I'm going to fight for
Gonna,
this opportunity.
yeah, absolutely. Where is it gonna be?
Yeah, it's gonna be in Las Vegas in
Oh,
July.
yeah.
So yeah, we have it at like when the convention first started, we had it at the Stardust right up until
Mm-hmm.
2006, and then we had to move to another hotel off the strip, the South Point. And
Mm-hmm.
what I learned today that we're gonna move to another hotel after we're
Oh,
done with that hotel, or after we're done with the South Point. I don't know where we're gonna go, but
yeah.
hopefully it's somewhere near the strip. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I like the South Point Hotel. I mean, it's got everything that you need. You don't have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about going to strip anywhere. But
Yeah.
just to say that going to someplace else, hopefully it's near the strip, so we don't
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about taking any trolleys or
Right.
taxis going down there. We just walk across the street to whatever hotel we want. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, it'd be my 13th time going there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
never been. I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, you go around July. I mean, bring plenty of sunscreen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's best to go to the strip at night. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Oh
during the day. I mean, your eyes burned even when you got glasses on.
my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
But yeah,
300 degrees out.
yeah, but definitely the attractions of Vegas are just so amazing. And like I've
Mm.
been there so many times, it's like it feels like the streets of Vegas are so small. It's like you can just take one step and you're on the other side of the street.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Man.
I took a trip to New York. I had never been to New York City.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
seen a picture with I don't think
Yeah.
the DeLorean that they had over there.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so cool. We just like happened upon it. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, did you get in the car?
No, no, I thought about it, but I was like, I got good pictures though on the inside, but
Yeah, I got in that DeLorean. I felt like I was gonna fall in there. Yeah.
oh, really? Yeah, yeah. It was very low to the ground.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely gonna get to like the end of the interview. Of course, the hidden dojo. So we're gonna be prepared for that. So,
Yeah.
uh, all right. So let's move on. So, what would you say your favorite moment in martial arts would be?
Well, I was thinking about this. I think for me, it was not this past Battle of Maine, but the one prior to. Um, it's the largest tournament in the state of Maine, Battle of Maine. It's every March. And last year I was a blue belt and there was no women in my division. So in my age and rank division. So I still competed, of course. But for sparring, they allowed me to spar against the higher ranks. So I competed against I think it was 3 or 4 other red belts. And I didn't win my last fight, but um I'm not sure if it was totally accurate, because I won pretty much all the fights against the higher ranks. And I was really, really proud of myself for not only, competing it still, but also sort of testing my skill against, a higher rank. I just was really felt good about that.
Yeah, I pretty much know that
Yeah.
feeling. I mean, I would say like I can say the reward is not the end result, it's the
Right.
adventure. So that adventure being in the tournament and actually competing, that's like
Yes.
the adventure. But I'm just thinking about myself, like used to competing. It's like now I just found out that the tournament I used to go to, like at my hometown, is coming back. So
Oh, wow.
after like a hiatus, like after the pandemic struck, it's like it's coming
Mm-hmm.
back. So I'm thinking I'm gonna at least go and compete, and and just at least enjoy the adventure. I'm not expecting to win.
Yeah.
Enough.
Right.
I got enough plaques and trophies, so
Yeah.
that's good
Yeah.
enough. And just to see like people compete, like even most of my friends that used to compete in the tournament. So I hope I can see them like
Mm-hmm.
coming up next year. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, I don't know if you heard of the Smack Internationals or Kumite Classics
Mm-hmm.
or the
Yeah.
Supergrams.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I was hoping those will come back probably in a couple years. So yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is exciting.
All right, so pretty much I was gonna ask you like how to describe your first black belt test, but I'm gonna kind of tweak the question here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you were to take your black belt test, well, what would your mindset be?
Um, well, and I would say we've been told this, and I definitely have used this in my other tests, because they certainly have not been easy to get through either. But just one exercise, one technique, one form, one thing at a time. And just don't think about the whole thing. Don't think about all the hours or what have you that you're going to have to do. Just focus on what you're doing in that moment and just keep going. And that was, I would say that's the other thing that I keep in mind, is just you have to just keep going. Don't give up. So,
Yeah, I mean, really, as like I said, I see these kids when they're doing their black belt test. I was telling them like, don't stop, don't keep going.
yeah.
I mean, this is a battle for your black belt, and even if you make a mistake, keep going. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's the mindset that you always got to give your students as well as yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to kind of like your current status. Of course, you've been
Mhm.
doing you're a mental health case manager. I mean, you've been in the mental health field for 21 years.
Yep.
All right. So pretty much that's like an indemnity to martial arts, especially if you're planning on becoming an instructor. So of
Mm-hmm.
course, you would know exactly like what mental conditions a student has and how to fix it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And how to just work with it, and that's a lot of the times I keep in mind when in my job, is just sort of meeting people where they're at and kind of helping them figure out ways that they can improve themselves, and in the ways that you know are genuine to them. You're not going to try to force somebody to think a different way. Obviously, you don't want to do that. But how you can sort of help them shift either their focus or shift their mindset, to help themselves better. So yeah, meeting people where they're at is really, really important.
Yeah, speaking of somebody that's been diagnosed with ADHD, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up when I think about it now, I grew up with like a tough childhood, For me, learning was just like I don't know how to say it, but it wasn't motivating enough for me. I mean, I
Right.
wasn't academically motivated to at least
Mm-hmm.
learn, although I can learn because mostly for
Right.
me, I mean, I could say my go-to place was like TV and video games when I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to read a book. But
Yeah.
it's like nowadays, it's like vice versa. It's like I retired the video games. It's like I want to explore more history, mostly with
Hmm.
martial arts, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of going getting in depth in everything. Like from like you studying Shotokan, I just
Hmm.
found out my style is like based off of Shotokan as well as Taekwondo, and
Hmm.
I want to at least get in depth. And for me, like I'm starting to do katas other than the katas that I learned for my style. I'm learning katas from other styles. Like, are you familiar with Jin?
No.
How about Impy?
Oh, yes, yes. Yes, Gian. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I haven't gotten to the place where I'm actually doing those, but I've watched Sabum and Busabum, Andrew and Churn T do those. So yes, I am familiar.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to like get just getting all these. Well, even though I wasn't trained in the style, it's just that's
Right.
me trying to make it under better understanding for my style of where it come from, and actually competing with these katas. Not the best, but that's just me saying that I'm still learning.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I really think it's very valuable to learn sort of where things come from and to get back to those roots. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm planning on going to this martial arts festival coming up in next week, and it's like you got like 8 people from different styles doing like a half an hour like demonstration of
Wow.
their style. So I'm yet to see what I can get out of there, which I can
Yeah.
put in like my future karate training as well as my master induction ceremony performance. So that's something I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's so interesting to see the different styles. Like they're similar in so many ways, but they're so drastically different in so many ways as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that people should start doing nowadays. It's like you kind of have to go beyond what your martial arts style is. People just go roughly say they can't roughly say the style that they're learning is the best style that they can
Yeah.
use. I mean,
Right.
for you, you are doing other than Taekwondo, you're doing
Hmm.
Shotokan as well as Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So
Right.
yeah, you're getting like a lot of indemnity into a lot of
Hmm.
things. Or like you get a lot of things in your pocket. So if one style doesn't work, you try the other style.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Oh, let's kind of get into your BJJ journey right now.
Yeah.
So you just started like for a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, I was trying to remember exactly how long ago. I think it was maybe January that I went to my first class. And unfortunately, because I'm training so much in the other two, I'm only able to really commit to once a week. And even then has been, on the weekends, you get other plans going on. So I'm trying to get as much time in as possible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it sounds like me because for my school there's another instructor that we kind of work with is from Texas, and we have like a Zoom class every Tuesday,
hmm.
and well, mostly we kind of incorporate BJJ in our style. We don't call it BJJ, we kind of call it ground combatives because we
Yep.
want it to be geared towards street fighting because
Right. And
yeah,
self-defense. Yep.
yeah, so really it's I kind of got so geared up with it even when I had my knee surgery and I couldn't do much, but I mean
Oh
I still
yeah.
had that interest in still learning. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a very, very different, obviously, very different movements and way to sort of think about your body and your opponent's, momentum and all timing, all that is so completely different. So it's been an experience.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of an indemnity to me because I do pro wrestling. So yeah,
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm yet to get back to that. So, but first I'm getting my
Yeah.
master rank, and then I'll start focus on getting back in the ring.
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna do any more jumping. No high
Oh, I
jumping.
bet. Yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah. Not good for the knee.
Yeah, I want to at least get my running ability back. Get start doing like 5 miles once in a
Right.
while. Yeah, uh,
Yeah.
but at least I got my agility, so that's good.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, thankful for physical therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's not easy either. I've had physical therapy in the past on various things, and it's not easy to do those exercises and keep up with it. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, if you as long as you're like highly committed to like the
right.
exercises, like your recovery could be like less than what the doctor said.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Oh, so who would you say you look up to in this journey? I know you say you kind of look up to your son when he got started, but do you have anybody else in mind that you look up to?
Well, if she listens to this, I'm gonna embarrass her, but definitely my teammate Megan. She's an amazing human being, and she's been nothing but encouraging to me, of course, and she's an amazing martial artist herself. She trains in all three of the styles that I also train in. So she's just I really very much look up to her.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get her on my show. Yes. I mean, I'm might after we're done here, I might as well just message her, or you might as well warn me that I'm gonna message her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, that's the thing about my podcast. I just don't want to reach out to like people that are highly known in martial arts.
right.
I like to meet the people that are really kind of moving up into like that prestigious and
Hmm.
just trying to at least get themselves noticed out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah. So real. Oh, it's also a good way to also get kind of talk to people.
Yeah.
Like I have that courage now. Just like other than talk to people in my own organization. There's people out there that also train in martial arts, and I kind of been in on 3 podcasts myself, so I
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so definitely people are looking. Even if there's a one podcast that I didn't know about, they reached out to me, and of course, I was
Oh,
going to reach out
that's
to them, but surprisingly,
yeah.
they reached me first.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
So I'm just giving a heads up. So of course, the
Yeah,
date is set on April 27th. That's a Thursday, so of
yeah.
course it'll be like 8 o'clock, 8:30 like PM. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'll probably like post it somewhere. So
Oh, yeah,
once I
yeah.
get the
I'll
heads up.
definitely listen to that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So before we kind of get into our hidden dojo segment, here's the last question. What inspirational quote best describes your journey?
So I picked it's a quote from Brene Brown, who is an author in the mental health field. And she said, daring is saying, I know I will eventually fail and I'm still all in.
Yeah,
So
that's a good quote. So you
yeah.
say that quote one more time.
Daring is saying I know I will eventually fail and I'm still all in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even though, and we've all failed, we've all made mistakes, we've all sort of blown a performance or, blown a technique, or, in class, you do something silly or you fall or all of those things. And then you're still all into it. You're still committed, you're still moving forward. So I just felt like that was accurate.
Yeah, I just like they put the word eventually or allegedly fail instead say
Yeah,
you'll fail because it's like a little it's like 50-50. It's a win or lose situation. So
right.
it's like if you were to throw 5 front kicks, 3 to 5 were good and then 2 to 5 were bad. So I mean that's a good ratio, but it's vice versa. It depends on your demeanor or how you feel that day. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So you got any more quotes, or that's something that's pretty much your main quote.
Yeah, that's the only one I got.
Yeah, that's a good quote. Yeah, I love that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached our hidden dojo segment of the interview. This is where we find the fun parts of Jessica. So this is where I'll get to ask you the fun questions. So are you ready to play this game?
Sure.
All right. So the first question is the best piece of advice you ever gotten, and who said it?
The best piece of advice. Um, I guess I would go back to, just the idea of keep moving forward, that you have to just focus on and really focus on what's right in front of you. As soon as you start getting into what's coming next, or, it, and especially in forms, because if you're not focused on the technique you have right there that you need to do next, if I'm thinking about the kick that I'm gonna hopefully not lose balance on, 5 moves from now, I'm gonna mess up where I am right now. So, and that is absolutely 100% true. And just that Something that my sensei said at JKA was, I'm trying to remember exactly what the quote is. This is another quote, actually. So now I have another one. But if you do not continue to heat your karate, it will become cold or something like that.
Yeah.
It's you have to continually practice. You have to continually work on your skills and be committed to that, and you will lose it, or you'll become stagnant, basically. So that was another good piece of advice that I've gotten.
Yeah, so just thinking about like kata and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
there's another individual that kind of follow Sheldon Moreland. I mean, he kind of said like sequential training. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's the thing that I kind of picked up on when I talk to my students, sequential training, breaking things down in order
Mm-hmm.
to like make them a little perfect for when you actually are doing your kata.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, some students get it, some students don't. I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's the territory. So, that's how they
Yeah.
learn.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, next question. The worst advice you've ever gotten.
Well, and I racked my brain on this one, and I gotta tell you, this is like one of your hardest questions because
Yeah.
I don't really remember anything that was given to me for advice that was like, no, that's not helpful. But I guess I would say that an unhealthy sort of mindset or an unhealthy way of looking at this journey is, I would say, not giving yourself enough patience to get to where you want to be, and not giving yourself enough rest and recoup time. Because I think, the culture, at least the culture in my school, is that you train every day and you practice every day, and that's not to say that they're not encouraging us to rest and to take time for ourselves and everything, but um I feel like I tend to get into the groove of just go 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 go, never sort of giving myself any downtime, and finding that balance between training and work and personal life and things like that. So I really would encourage anyone sort of that is really, really invested in this to also have that balance in their life as well.
Yeah, if I would say like, martial arts training doesn't always have to be physical training. It's like it's mental training as well as spiritual and as well as emotional. I mean, yeah, so at times when I don't train physically, I'm doing something like studying, looking at a YouTube video, or even writing notes or reading a book.
Yep.
So yeah, that's right. That's something that some instructors out there fail to tell their students. Like they tell them that you gotta train every day, but
Mhm.
they never tell you that you have to train mentally. You have to have your mind set, like your mind right first before you actually do any physical training.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I've certainly never have been told you shouldn't rest, like
Yeah,
I'm not trying to say that, but just, I think again, like the culture of it, I tend to get into that mindset of just I should be doing this all the time and every day. And it's okay to not train every single day, just
yeah,
to give yourself that time. So
yeah, amazing. All right, your guilty pleasure. How would you reward yourself?
well, I mean, as far as like physically, I would say I have a big sweet tooth, so I like to I like to reward myself every once in a great while. But I also would say that I am very lucky in the fact that I have a good circle of friends that I get to go and do things with. My trip to New York actually was with a group of friends, so I would say, one of my guilty pleasures is sort of taking off and doing some fun things with friends and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, like I want one day go to New York to actually go to the New York Comic Con. I mean, yeah, that's
Oh,
my
that would
guilty
be
pleasure.
amazing.
Yeah, that's my guilty
Yeah.
pleasure. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to so many Comic Cons like where in my area, I just want to at least go
Yeah.
to ones that are like outside of New York or even New York City, even like San Diego. I mean,
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I've never been to a Comic Con, so I would just be geeked right out of it.
yeah, but like here's a tip: like the less prestigious, the less they're going to charge, but mostly celebrities. So yeah, I know the
Oh
deal.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a
The scoop.
yeah, it's quite an indemnity for me when I go over to Canada. Because if I'm
Mm.
actually paying like say $150 to meet somebody to do a photo op, I'm actually would pay less than that because I'm US dollars.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. That's even better.
Yeah. So it's just like so amazing actually going in there and even dressing up in cosplay. So yeah.
So fun. So much fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. I go to see the new Super Mario movie, and
I know, I saw that. You guys were all decked out. That was great.
yeah, you got these cosplay all dressed up and just like for cosplay. I only got a Mario hat on, and so all of a sudden these kids actually asked me to take a picture with them,
Oh
and
my
that
gosh,
was
that's awesome.
yeah. I wasn't even in full cosplay. It's like
Yeah,
how lucky am I?
right. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Uh, yeah, but I'm gonna see that movie two more times. I need to see like the extra Easter eggs in there. So
Oh yeah. It was it good?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was actually getting into it. I should have brought my controller. So yeah, that'd be the ironic humor. People see
Right, right.
see me in the theater with a controller and they say, "What is this guy crazy or he's actually
Yeah.
playing against?" I think I'm gonna do
Uh,
that next time. It's like see if I can catch somebody.
right, right. Like get some looks.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna set traps. All right. So, what famous movie would you want to be in?
So if I could go back to before the Matrix was made, I would love to be a part of that movie. That was just so it was at a time I'm pretty sure I was a senior in high school. It was like 1999 or somewhere in there. It was such an iconic movie at the time, and it was just so cool. I've never seen anything like that on a movie before, so that would be my answer to this. Love to be suspended in air and do all these crazy moves. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a reverse of what we like. If you go to sleep, we're almost in the Matrix, or
Right.
yeah, and then of course we wake up, we're in reality. But like that movie
Yeah.
is like you're in reality. When you're in the Matrix, you're in a dream, but yet
Right.
they're in when they wake up, they're in like some type of futuritic reality. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it would have been so cool to be a part of that.
yeah, it'd be cool if I actually met Keanu Reeves. So yeah,
Well, that's my answer to your next question is are one of the questions, who would you like to meet for a celebrity? That he would be my pick for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So oh yeah, so we got that question out of the way. The dream celebrity encounter. So my next question before that was your secret talent.
Well, it's not a huge secret. I paint rocks I started doing it as a hobby, as doing kindness rocks. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but people paint rocks and they hide them, and people find them, post them on Facebook, and then you go and hide them somewhere else or keep them or what have you. So I started doing that a few like 2.5 years ago, and someone suggested you should probably sell them. They're good enough that people would buy. So I'm actually going to be I was last year as well, but this year I'm going to be part of the Maine Renaissance Fair and selling them there. So I got to get all decked out last year, and I'm going to again this year. So
Yeah, well, yeah. Any other like hidden talents that you could think of?
I mean, I love, like I mentioned before, I love to dance. I danced for many years as a kid. So that's kind of, I don't normally, go out and perform or do anything like that. So I guess that would be, I consider myself to have pretty good rhythm. So that's another talent of mine.
Yeah, yeah. And also, dancing is also a good indemnity in martial arts. So yeah, that's good that you
Absolutely.
got that. So
Yes.
yeah, so you were prepared either way. Like you were a
Hmm.
dancer, and of course you got into your fitness groove before you get started.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always good.
Yeah.
Eh, all right, last question. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
I basically would just love to see myself still doing all of this, training in all three, hopefully. And I really don't have any, end goal or rank goal sort of in mind for even that time frame. I would just love to still, at 52, I'll be 52 at that point. So I hopefully will still be doing and going and training as hard as I do now. That's kind of what my goal is.
Yeah, I mean, my end goal could be just become a master rank after July, or even train more and go for the next rank. So, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
of course, with the next rank, I just get promoted. I don't have to do much except take a like a class and stuff. That pretty much it, and stay involved. So,
Are you gonna train in Shotokan, like officially, or are
well, not really. I
you
mean,
just kind of like exploring it? And
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
just understand any type of martial arts style. So, hopefully, the festival I go to next week is going to be kind of vital.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, have fun at there at
Yeah.
that.
Uh, all right. So before we kind of end this podcast, is there any last minute words you'd like to say to listeners out there?
I would say that especially for women that are kind of considering getting involved in martial arts or any sort of fighting art, uh BG BJJ, especially, like, I think, more and more women are getting involved in that as well. And I would encourage anyone to just kind of give it a shot and, see if you like it. It's not all about, you know, punching and obviously that's what we train in, but it's not about, being the strongest in the room. It's just about improving yourself and day to day. So that's what I would.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so thank you very much for joining me, Jessica. So I hope everything goes well for you. And just a reminder
Yes,
for
thank
every
you.
listeners out there, of course, this is there's also Autism Awareness Month, so I forgot to mention that. So I hope you are people that know people, somebody that's autistic or have any other mental condition. I mean, make sure that they know that they also deserve an opportunity as well as everybody else. So really kind of help them out and give them something to look forward to as they have futures as well. So that's very good. All right, so I'm gonna do my little closing. For those who are just joining me, make sure you tune into my previous episodes on the BICBPRadio.com, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And I'll see you next time for another episode here at the Kickpod Podcast. This is your host, TJ Williams, bowing you.